Hello, Uta here of Uta Hagen channel with crocuses that I've been dividing because they came up nice and thick and they're in full bloom now. And there's the bulb. It's going to go back in a few inches away from where it was. And then hopefully next year I'll do the same again and have more and more. We are on the final episode of Trans Widow Testimony Nanette, who had been writing all of this on a subreddit chat platform for women like us, except they use the word cis, CIS, which is one of my pet peeves. We're women. We're mothers. We're not that other thing that was made up by Volkmar Sigush, who also doesn't believe there should be an age of consent for sexual activity. So here we are. Nanette's husband has said, for now, he doesn't see himself wanting the surgeries. He says he wants to try the clothes and makeup and see how they feel. Sounds like he's been watching a certain kind of online pornography. He says he wants to go somewhere where no one knows him and dressed as a woman. But he's afraid of being a fat man in a muumuu. All right. So he needs to lose weight before he tries it. Okay. It's, does he do anything when the kids are at school? What is he doing? He needs to feel he looks good doing it, or it isn't worth it. Good. You're not going to look good. You're not going to be convincing. It's going to be inauthentic and disingenuous, so don't do it. You probably have other problems. We don't know anything about his relationship with his father and all kinds of things, whether he had any abuse history in his childhood, all that kind of thing. I said, but are you a woman? And he said he thinks he is more fluid than that. So, it none of it's making much sense. In his brain, he still wants to be my husband, but be able to be the woman inside him too. Now, the next thing that's going to happen is she's going to be requested to strap on some kind of silly toy and pretend and say BS in bed. But I'm just, opining here. She's not telling us that has happened yet. I asked him why he needs hormones for that, if he's fluid. Couldn't he just be a cross-dresser? No, don't make that suggestion. Don't put yourself in the position of loaning him your purses and your eyeshadow or your necklaces or whatever. And don't believe for a second that it will only go this far. He could already be having affairs for all we know. He's got plenty of time on his hands. He said he wants the hormones to try and chemically feel better. Typically, that's not what we're hearing from the women. From the wives. There's periods of manic behavior. Sometimes they become physically abusive. There's been reports of choking the wife and mother of the children, sometimes in front of the children. Just like in general, we're hearing that testosterone does not help females to feel better. What it does is put you on the path, which is, as Exolancic explains from Isle of X, AISLE of X YouTube channel, it really is a placebo path where doing all these appearance things is a placebo for something else that you're probably running away from. It made her feel better to hear him say that he wants to remain her husband. Uh, Afraid, Nanette says, but less freaked out. I think she's just feeling better from writing this, to be honest. She should be writing a BS diary of all of his true things, of all of the true BS that he's been exclaiming or doing. And then she should start keeping a diary of the happy moments that she has with her children. And you really need to keep those two separate. That's my advice. But what about the hormones? I read they can change the feelings and desires on a fundamental level. That some even change sexual orientation. You know, yeah, I don't think you really even need to get that far into his head. Um, I, you know, I, she's in a tough place, very tough place, because she's supporting the family. She's needing to keep her job. She has a 12-year-old who is engaging in cross-sex ideation, and now her husband is saying BS. Some start hormones and start wanting more and more changes, even if they never intended to change fully. Yes, it is setting down a path which usually accelerates, because then the therapists, especially in middle age, like this guy is, I think, over 50, that has got to be in part one. I think maybe she said 54, but anyway, somewhere around 50. She's about 49. Then she just writes the words, fear of the unknown. So my anxiety skyrockets again. So she's just on this roller coaster that he has put her on. And she needs to stop and get off. And it's going to be a lot of work. She has a career, apparently, but she has a lot of responsibility, and she needs to be able to stay focused to keep the job, et cetera, et cetera. And unfortunately, she has to kind of keep track of him. He's become a third child all of a sudden. Oh, husband asks me to try. He doesn't want to leave me. He doesn't want me to leave him. He promises he wants to remain my husband, not become my wife. No, he's never going to become her wife. No. At least he doesn't think so. Okay, so he promises, but then at least he doesn't think so. So this is this sketchiness. It's very familiar to me. He promises to either quit transition or let me go if I ever say I can't take it, and promises it will be decided together. That ship has sailed. He's already made all these decisions, and I will tell you, Nanette, you will basically never trust him. And most likely, there's going to be a few other shoes dropping, and it's just as likely as not that he's been going out like Nettie and having some kind of sexually oriented escapades. He promises that when and if he decides being a full-time woman is what he needs, he will tell me honestly and let me decide what I want to do. Now, she already disappeared for a few hours after he first told her this on the eve of their 12-year-old's birthday. And I would not trust that idea that he's going to be honest and and let her decide, and be hands off, letting her decide. No, because he's going to go to a therapist or somebody at the end of the month asking for hormones, and then he's starting down that path, and he's going to get a lot of advice that he needs to hurry up because his life is basically already half over. What's he been waiting for? I wish I could have decided if he was going to even start this. Well, yes, that's a wish. Yes. I feel entitled because of our marriage. Right. He is disrespecting the marriage that they had established. He is disrespecting all of her work, and he is disrespecting the very idea of motherhood and of being female, because he cannot ever become female in any kind of authentic way. I feel him doing this is denying me the ability to be my true self. Absolutely. You're you're going to become a very stressed out mother, woman, and um, you have to work on regaining your equilibrium. He is taking that away from you, and so is the entire ideology. It is mother erasure. Uh, my choice has been taken away. Yes. I sometimes can't decide if his decision has taken away my ability to live the life I want. And there's this bit, I don't know if I read it correctly. I feel entitled because of our marriage, but I know that would be asking him not to be true to self, meaning his own self. And this I call betrayal blindness. She is putting his feelings before hers, and there is a certain kind of rationality that you need to gain. You need to do your wellness exercises and eat well and really take care of yourself because you are the mother. And don't develop this blindness to the betrayal that he is engaging in. That's a Dr. Ramani phrase. My choice has been taken away, so I sometimes can't decide if his decision has taken away my ability to live the life that I want. Well, for now. I mean, she can find someone new. This is what she says. I want a man in my life. It makes me feel protected, wanted, and loved. So again, the betrayal blindness is preventing her from realizing that she is not protected, wanted, and loved. This guy is completely self-involved. He's being very, very selfish. And I know that it seems like she's not talking enough about her concerns for her children. But I think this is just that her stream of consciousness, is taking her there, and the whole field of mental health needs to understand that when one of the parents starts going down the yellow brick road of cross-sex ideation, the children are being abandoned and neglected in some way. I feel that although I tried mightily and I succeeded mightily, there are still times, or there were times, when I could not be completely there for my children because this takes your sense of self away as a woman and as a mother. And she's ends with the idea that having a man in her life makes her feel good. And I hope that she's able to move on and find that. And now, time for transplanting, time to get out in the garden for mind and body wellness. May you have this always. Like, share, and subscribe. Thank you.